Forward to into the weekend. It's what comes behind the warm-up that may be not so great. Generally, when you get temperatures that far above average, it's generally due to a surge of warmth out ahead of a strong cold front, and that will bring us some storms. But let's get to the good stuff first. In fact, take a look at temperatures outside this morning, and it is kind of chilly outside this morning. It's cold. You may even want the heavy coats. We're looking at temps below freezing in many spots. So basically, Wilmington right now is 30 degrees. By Saturday, the high could be 80. That's a 50-degree swing in just a little over 48 hours, which is a pretty huge swing in the mercury as temps warm up. It's 28 degrees in Millville this morning, just 35 right now in the city, 35 down in Dover as well. So you may want the heavy coats this morning again, or at least layer up a big cozy sweatshirt or fleece, something along those lines this morning. Dress in layers because it's not a bad afternoon. It is a little bit better than yesterday as far as temperatures are concerned and as far as the wind is concerned. So kids heading off to school, again, if you can get them into the coats, I would recommend it. Probably going to be the hoodies. That's fine. But again, it's chilly this morning. It warms up to 40 by 10 a.m. And we are headed to a high today in the mid 50s, which is pretty close to average. It is the Philly season opener. If you're heading down to D.C. for that, it'll be about 5 degrees warmer there. So the Philly sweatshirt and the sunglasses for today. You won't need sweatshirts for the weekend. Coming up, we'll talk about that warming trend, and then we'll time out the storms that will follow it with that cold front. Kim, I'll send it. Yeah, I was off yesterday. We tried to go play tennis outside, and it was so windy in the afternoon. The winds really picked up. The temperature dropped. It took about 30 seconds before I was like, yeah, this is not going to work outdoors. But today may be a little bit better. The wind is not quite as strong today. It's going to be a bright, sunny start to the day. Still dark out there right now, but these sunrise times are getting earlier and earlier as the days get longer now that we have passed the vernal equinox and headed next for the summer solstice. So that's when you're seeing those days really starting to lengthen. However, still dark and still cold this morning. In fact, much of the area is below freezing this morning. We're down to 31 in Atlantic City, 30 degrees in Millville, 28 in Allentown. The smaller numbers, those are your wind chills, your feels like temperatures. And right now, feels like the 20s almost everywhere. Even in Philadelphia, it feels like 29. Millville, 23. Look at Lancaster. It feels like 21 degrees. Mount Pocono feeling like 12. That is pretty brutal for a spring morning. Definitely feeling more winter-like out there. So you may want to grab the heavier coat as you head out the door if you want to stay cozy this morning. Later today, it is on the cool side of seasonable. We should be a little bit warmer in the mid to upper 50s now. We'll get to 54, but it is a full day of sun. And again, the winds are not as bad as yesterday. Low 50s down the shore and in the Lehigh Valley. Not much going on locally. High pressure in control. That high is kind of sliding over top of us. So instead of producing that strong wind gradient, that pressure gradient yesterday, we get more of just a standard breeze in the afternoon. But here comes our next system. You can see a warm front setting up shop here over parts of Illinois and Missouri this morning. Clouds and maybe a few sprinkles as that will lift toward us tomorrow, followed by a subsequent cold front, really kind of a 1-2 punch of a cold front Sunday into Monday. In the middle, we get into the warm sector of this low, which is what is going to really pump those temperatures up on Saturday. So for tomorrow, we're looking at an increase in clouds. The afternoon, I think, is mostly cloudy. It's not all that wet, although late tomorrow night, we may pick up a couple of showers that could linger into the early hours of Saturday. So you may wake up Saturday morning and everything's wet outside. But then the sun comes out, and on Saturday, as we await the arrival of a cold front to the west, it looks like we have a good chance of hitting our first 80 of the season. The problem, that cold front then comes through Sunday, kind of a 1-2 punch here. Sunday evening, we could pick up some showers, maybe a thunder shower, but it's later Monday that we have a stronger front that comes through with rain and the chance for even some gusty storms, and that could impact that Phillies home opener on Monday afternoon. Hoping that maybe the storms hold off until after the game. We will keep you posted, but we have preemptively issued a next weather alert for that one. So 80 on Saturday. We go from 50s, 60s to 70s and 80s through the weekend, and then cooler but drier next Tuesday and Wednesday. Cam, I'll send it over to you.